Hey, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Early Morning Sunday Show. And I'm your host because nobody else in my family will get up this damn early. But today we have a special guest. We have Cat. Please spell it with a K because that's how his name's go. So Cat, say hi. Look, Cat. All right. This is actually take two. I already filmed this back at 4 a.m. but really flubbed something up. So time for take two. And I never do take twos because I just don't. So we're going to try to show these. Take one I did not have a kitty cat on my lap, but now I do. So start it. All right, for those of you playing at home, the list, let's see what Steve screws up this time. This episode is about not using the word fantastic. I watch my past videos, I kind of critique myself, and I notice I think everything's fantastic. This is fantastic, that's fantastic. Well, this time I will not tell you any of my albums are fantastic. Not a single album today is fantastic. So watch, feel free to comment if I use the word. So let's get going, all right? Can't settle down, I think we're set to go. First off is, I got this. This is from Record Store Day. Dead Kennedys, the Iguana Studio Rehearsal tapes from the Dead Kennedys. I like the Dead Kennedys. Always, you know, they've been a favorite group. I think the first two albums are really good. After that, they began to fall a little bit. If you don't know about the Dead Kennedys, if you want to try the Dead Kennedys, do not buy this. I repeat, do not buy this. If you love them, you know, it's for the completist to me. You know, you can go back and you can listen to how they were forming the stuff. The thing is, it's demos. It's from the studio. It's really muddled, so it's not crisp and precise. You can't understand any of the vocals in some of the songs, so that makes it tough. Since I like the group, I find it interesting on a historical perspective. Would I listen to this one all the time? Absolutely, I would not. So I got more as a completist, but for anybody not sure, if you don't think, hey, would I like the Dead Kennedys? I would start there. You'll probably wind up not liking the Dead Kennedys. All right, the next, The Clash, Give Them Enough Rope. You know, this came out in 1978. This was the first Clash that was made in the U.S. It was the second one in England. The first one, you know, didn't come over here. The original, the very first pressings, The Clash was done in block letters. So if you ever see that in block letters and not this faux Chinese stuff, that would be off the very first run of this album. I didn't own this one on vinyl, so I was really excited to find this out in the wilds of West Virginia. Pretty exciting stuff. And you know, The Clash, they were all, you know, their songs were very social. They liked to complain and talk about all the social ills. They weren't one for ever saying, well, here's what we need to do to fix it. They were more about the gripers, but that's what punk was about. And when you look at some of these songs, it's really interesting. For instance, here, Guns on the Roof. So the song Guns on the Roof, it's about war, it's about terrorism, it's about the military. You're really anti. But it's also about the fact that two of the members were up on a roof with an air gun shooting racing pigeons. So there goes a racing pigeon. They got an air gun, try to shoot it. Well, the police caught wind of that and they got arrested and charged 700 pounds for that infraction. So not only is it the political about terrorism and war, but also the fact that they got caught shooting racing pigeons. There was another song on here. We'll just, you know, The Clash, their songs, there's always usually a story behind them, which makes it interesting. Here, Julie and the Drug Squad. That was about, there was in the UK, there was, the police had a sting called Operation Julie. And Operation Julie was, it busted the largest LSD ring in the UK, and it was actually in Wales. And so the song's about busting, you know, this LSD factory and that. I'm sure after that happened, psychedelia probably died in UK fairly quick. Yes, hey, the LSD's all dried up, so great ball. You know, real quick, what we're listening to in the background is Luna. This is the best of Luna. I have all their stuff on CDs, and I have most of their stuff on vinyl. You know, they started in the 1980s. Dean Wareham, might be saying that last name wrong because that's what I make a living of, saying things wrong. He's formed Galaxy 500 in the 80s, and then in the 90s he came up with Luna. They disbanded for a little while, but then they got back together. They've had a number of different solo albums they've put together. For me, it's very relaxing music stuff. I just love listening to Luna. It's just one of my favorite groups. So that's what's in the background. All right, let's get into next. We're really doing a punky thing. So we're going from the punk of the UK back to, so we started in California, Dead Kennedys, went to the UK. Hey, let's come back now to Los Angeles, and let's just call it Los Angeles. X. This is X's very first album. Lead singer on this was John Doe. And what I appreciate about John Doe is he has a name that even I can't screw up. I can say that, John Doe. The guitars, Billy Zoom. I like that name, easy to say. And then you had on Dre's DJ Bone Crusher. What's your name? DJ Bone Crusher, damn it, don't you forget it. And then you have the lead singer, Zine Cervanka. See, there we go. One person has to screw it all up. This was, they formed in 1977. Really punk band with rockabilly roots. And the critics liked this group. There's so many punk bands that the critics just couldn't stand. They hated them, didn't like the music. X was popular with the critics, and they really liked them. They liked what they were saying and they were talking about. And this, of course, has some of their really big classics on here. Johnny Hit and Run Pauline. They do Soul Kitchen. Soul Kitchen's a song from the Doors, but the producer of this was Ray Manzarek. He played for the Doors. He was the organist for the Doors, just in case I'm saying it wrong. Who's he talking about? And he produced their first 4 albums. So this is the first. Most people that have been buying records, they know X. If you're newer, you don't know X, and you want to get one of the greatest punk rock classics, here's one that you need to get. Then I found this out in the wilds of West Virginia also, and I did not own this one in vinyl. More Fun in the New World. This is the Exes' 4th album. That one was a repress. This is not. This is an original. They a little more pop oriented on this. It's not as hard edge punk. They do a version of Breathless, that's 50s classic. They also have a ballad, I Must Not Think Bad Thoughts is the ballad. It's probably the most beautiful ballad X ever did. It's very nice. The song is about about Reagan's politics, Reaganomics that was going on at the time that many people did not like. England had Margaret Thatcher, we had Ronald Reagan, and so some people loved him, some people hated him. And so this was their first. This is the last one that Manzarek did with them, and then they got a different producer. It is a really good album. I really like this. It still holds up. Both Los Angeles and this one really hold up through time. It still sounds fresh and important to this day. Sometimes some of that music dates. This hasn't. So, well worth looking into. I did not own it on CD, so I was really excited to find that and enjoy it. All right, my next one is an Air Record Store Day purchase. This is Catherine Wheel. And, I was introduced to Catherine Wheel back in 1995, and I bought this CD. It's called Happy Days, Catherine Wheel. And I didn't much care for it. I'd heard of Catherine Wheel, so I thought, let me give this a try. And so I bought this. And it was hard rock, more metal. I go, what? It's okay, but it didn't really turn me on. And I just kind of, forgot about Catherine Wheel. Well, come record store day, I was reading some stuff about the purchases and everything like that, and they were talking more about this, and some were saying it's really good. So I thought I'll give it a try. Also, notice there's twins. See the twins? All right. So now let's veer off course for a minute. Twins. My wife's a twin. She's an identical twin. We used to go to, we've been there twice, a town called Twinsburg, Ohio. In Twinsburg, Ohio, once a year they have the Twins Festival. How about that? Twinsburg with the Twins Festival. Thousands and thousands of twins converge upon Twinsburg, Ohio once a year. It's rather creepy, especially if you're not a twin. Now, they have this huge parade. They're all walking. And if you're a paternal twin, you know, the ones that don't look alike, back of the parade for you, buddy. You don't get to be in front. That's for the twins that look the same. And it's triplets, quadruplets, septuplets, octuplets, whatever. As long as there's 2 or more of you and you kind of look the same, come on in. And away we go. So we would go this few times, and man, I tell you, it's the twins that walk in step, talk together, in sync. Obviously, they're all dressed the same. They creep the hell out of me, man. They're just spooky. I keep thinking of The Shining, you know, the 2 little girls in the hallway. Red drum! Ooh, wow. So that's what I thought about there. I thought about Twinsburg, Ohio, and let's have flashbacks. But you know what? So let's get back to Catherine Wheel, because I really strayed off course. And that's why my videos go a long time, because I just keep going. So this was, you know, they did a nice job with the packaging on here, didn't they? You know, usually you just get that white, you know, white sleeves or whatever, and these guys at least tried to give you information. It's on beautiful colored vinyl there. Catherine Wheel was a shoegaze band, and you know, shoegaze, you know, they really, you know, I think you think Jesus, Mary Chain Gang, My Bloody Valentine is some of the most famous shoegaze type bands. It's fuzzy guitars and distortions, something that I really like. Well, this is all about their B-sides, and Catherine Wheel made tons of B-side albums, you know, stuff they wouldn't release on their main albums, and you can find a lot of it out there. Some of it's highly collectible, and so they put some of it onto this album. Really nice. The name of the album is called Like Cats and Dogs, and this had been produced in CD already, but they put it out on vinyl. Like Cats and Dogs. Enjoyed it. You know, it definitely was the shoegaze. It had that feel to it. It was right up my alley, so I was super happy I got that, even if it has creepy twins on the cover. I'm good with it, all right? My record store guy, he called me, and he says, hey man, I got in Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Would you like it? Wow. Okay, I've had Dark Side of the Moon since the 70s, right? But this one had posters. We've all discussed, and we all know, Steve likes posters, right? And mine that I had doesn't have the poster. Haven't had the poster probably in years. You know, in the 70s, when you bought a record album and it had a poster, it went up on the wall. That's what you did, because you had to look cool. I needed everything I could to look cool. You know, I also a little more struggled with that. So, hey, they went up on the wall. And, you know, I probably have a box somewhere. You know, when I went to college, I put them up on the wall. And I would bet if I searched through all my moves, I still have something. But this thing had all the things in there, so I was pretty excited about that. And it even had this, stickers. So, though I had that, and that's a first pressing, that's really cool on there. I haven't even listened to the vinyl. It didn't matter. It has the posters, and it has the stickers, so I was sold. All right, let's do a quick thing for Discogs. I have Discogs in my phone. I went to a store in Cincinnati. I didn't have much time. Put just a little bit of money in the parking meter. I was on lunchtime, so I wanted to get in, get out. I forgot my phone in the car, so I went into this record store. I only bought 4 records. Didn't have my phone though. Didn't have a Discog, so I just had to do this from memory. Get them home. One of them I bought, the Raspberries. Well, how about that? I had the freaking album already. This is why you bring your phone. This is why you have Discogs, so you don't do stupid stuff and buy the same record album once again. How about that? Here, a copy of the Raspberries. So, it's my advertisement for Discogs. I recently received some VCLT. I did a video last week on it from Bill from the Vinyl Verse. And Bill, thank you very much. It was very kind of you. One of the albums he gave me was Stewart Copeland's The Rhythmicist. This was made in 1984. You know, Copeland's an interesting guy. You know, he was born in the U.S. His father was a CIA officer, and his mother was a Scottish archaeologist. How about that for some family genes? When he was young, I believe about age 5, they moved to Beirut, Lebanon, which is where he spent most of his childhood. If you're in the CIA, it's in the late 60s, early 70s. Lebanon's the place to go. Talk about pure excitement there, huh? Well, you know, then he became, you know, part of the police. And there we go, that's the label. And in 1984, the police were on hiatus. You know, they were trying to decide what to do. They were no longer palsy-welsies, hanging out together. You know, definitely some riffs. So Copeland, who obviously had grown up with a lot of the Middle Eastern rhythms and that in his head, decided, let's go to Africa. And I would almost bet as a drummer, he'd listened to a lot of Ginger Baker, had heard his albums with Fela Kuti. So he went to Africa and did this album. And you know, he used a lot of traditional instruments. He used traditional players on there and made this wonderful album. Yes, there are touches of the 80s in here. That's just what happens. You get some of that. But it is an incredibly good album. To me, an important album. Something I didn't have in my collection. And Bill from the Vinyl Verse, somehow, he must have heard me talking about it because people have recommended this to me. I found I did have it on a tape that I taped from the library many years ago, but never had on CD or vinyl. So super excited to get this. It was right up my alley. So again, big thanks, Bill. Another one I bought when I went into that store in Cincinnati, which Lazy Bones. Zamrock. Now, I've talked about Zamrock 2, maybe 3 videos. I've showed different things on Zamrock. So I won't go into which necessarily because I've talked a lot about it. Another incredible album. This thing, it's funk, it's rock, there is soul, there's a little reggae in this thing. You want fuzz guitars? It has fuzz guitars. It has a garage rock sound. Really incredible sounding group. You know, they sing in English because Zambia was an English colony until the early 60s when they, you know, got their independence. So just another great album by the group Which. You know, an original of this thing goes for over $1,000. You know, Zamrock is just, it's the most, I'm not going to say that word, incredible music I've ever heard. Okay, all right, here we go. I have Fritz the Cat. This is another record store day purchase. You see, that's the reason why I bought that. I bought this on the second day. I went back to see what they had left. And I'd seen a video, and they have these little, see all this? This is a cat walking, kind of a cat winking. Well, when it spins, if you put a light on it and you take your camera and you shine it and you video it, it looks like the cat's just walking or the cat's just winking. They showed it. Bull Moose Records, Chris from Bull Moose Records was demonstrating it. I believe he was the one. Maybe it was someone else. I thought, wow, that's really neat. So I went and I picked it up. Dang, if I could make it happen. It's not working for me. I've been trying, but I know it can be done. That's just my own stupidity. So Fritz the Cat, this he was based upon Felix the Cat, which was a comic strip, 50s, 60s, about a nice cat. Fritz wasn't nice, if you notice where his paw's at on here. This was the first animated film ever to get an X rating. Congrats! It took $700,000 to film, and it made over $90 million. You know, what they looked at, again, animated with the cats, they any other animals. It was looking at college life. It was looking at hedonism. It was looking at left and right wing politics. So it was kind of all over the place on what they were talking about. And it was a satire. And I'd heard it. I've never seen it. I know some of you have seen it. It would be fun to watch. I'm sure it's been dated. You know, within one of the first scenes, Fritz here, he already got 5 other cats into the bathroom to have a 4-way. So I mean, things, hey, they really get going on there. So it's 60s kind of sounding rock. There's some psychedelic in here, some rock, some soul. It's not a bad soundtrack. I bought it to make the cat walk. All right, the Selector, Too Much Pressure. This is another one of these finds I found out in the middle of West Virginia on here. So the Selector, which in Jamaica means the DJ, so the Selector is the DJ. This is a ska band out of England. 1979 is when they formed. This album's from 1980. This is the first album. I think they only did one other once, and they broke, and they got back together. La 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 la. It's when, you know, they took ska and they put punk to it, which again makes for a great listen. You know, the ska with the punk sound on there, and you know, there's the reggae in it also. Here we go. The Selector off two-tone, twin tone. Sorry, hold on. I don't want to say too. What's actually off Chrysalis, but I just love that label. Isn't that just the coolest label on there? All right. So again, this group is really popular in England. It really took off on there. The singer was Pauline Black. She was kind of an angry woman, shall we say, on there. She could really spit out the lyrics. Neil Davis, he wrote a lot of the music on this album. You know, they disbanded early, but this is an important album. Yeah, if you like the ska of the England scene, if you don't have this, if you can find the Selector, well worth picking up. King Tubby. Pick this one up. So King Tubby, his real name was Osborne Rudrick, born in 1941, died in 89, was shot, gunned down. You know, he was born in Jamaica, and Jamaica was such a violent place, still so much violence in Jamaica. Well, this is just another casualty of that. Well, Osborne, or King Tubby, in the 50s began repairing radios, and that was his profession, and began repairing TVs. Well, around Jamaica, they had all these halls, these dance halls, and they had sound systems that weren't very good. King Tubby figured out how to make a very good sound system, really good amplifiers, and began selling them and became known for that. He also made his own radio transmitter and started his own pirate radio station. The police caught wind of that one and shut him down. Well, by the 60s, he had worked his way into recording studios and began to help mix and, you know, the different songs. How Jamaica was working with their singles, on one side they would have the hit, on the other side they would just put an instrumental version of it. King Tubby came in and said, you know what, why is it just instrumental? Let's change it up. And so he began to remix it, to retape it all and add his own flavor, began to dub the music. That's into this whole dub music, and changed it so the instrumental no longer sounded like maybe the song on the front side. It was totally different. And when you think of dub, you know, I always think of that, you know, you go by someone's car, you know, the windows are vibrating, boom, boom. You know, they have the dub step. Well, he really changed how reggae went and brought on this whole other type of music. He never made albums, but there are hundreds of albums and compilations out there of King Tubby, of the remixes he did, which is what this one has. Lots and lots of remixes. So, you know, Doug from Fat City Vinyl, you know, he keeps me interested in all this stuff, and obviously he's an absolute expert on, you know, King Tubby. So, good listen. Enjoyed it. It helped me see another aspect. You know, I'm not as familiar with dub, so I was able to listen and get a feel for it. All right, final item. Dexter Gordon. This is live at the Playboy Festival. This is a record store day purchase I got. It was kind of nice. Vinyl is, I think it's just black. It's just black vinyl. But, you know, they came out at least with a picture, some stuff. I appreciate that when they give us a little more, some liner notes. This was a concert in 1982. You know, he was a pretty old man by then. He was born in 1918. But at this concert, his group was, excuse me, you know, he was on tenor sax. He had Woody Shaw on trumpet. Milt Jackson played the vibes on Bag's Groove, which of course was, you know, Milt's song. And the blues, you had Kirk Lightsey on piano, David Eubanks on bass, and Eddie Gladden on drums. And then O.C. Smith did some vocals. And they wanted to put this out as an album in 1982. The problem is, I guess the agents between Milt Jackson and Dexter Gordon didn't like each other, or the record labels didn't like each other. So Milt Jackson's label says, nope, can't do it. You cannot use Milt on there. So they made an album, but it was only with the songs that Milt Jackson wasn't on. Well, finally, after all these years, they were able to put this out. So we have Bag's Grooves, which is such a incredibly nice, great, relaxing song built by Milt Jackson. Gosh darn, I want to say, you know, the F word. I wanted to use the F word. Now I just say incredible all the time. I was really happy to get this record store day purchase. It was one of the things high on my list. I have the Cannonball Adderley one too. Haven't shown that one yet because I'm only showing them as I listen to it. So this was a great album. Absolutely a great listen. Totally enjoyed it. Glad I picked it up. Alright, so there we have it. That's what I got for this week. Thank you everyone once again for watching on there. I hit 400 subscribers. I want to thank the new people that decided to subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it. Hope everyone's getting something out of this. You know I tell a lot of stuff that maybe not record related, just the way it goes. I can't help the story, but I really enjoyed doing this, and I appreciate everyone. Thank you for all the comments that you keep giving me. That's a lot of fun. You know, I like to hear what you think. So if I use that F word, let me know. Everyone have a great week. I got to finish up. I got one more Christmas tree to go up, 2 up, 1 more to go, and then we're all set to go. So appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful week and take care. And Cat says goodbye, and he goes goodbye. See ya.